The Insta360 Luna Ultra and the X5 are two very different cameras, and both have their own unique strengths. But since I know that many of you are interested in a direct comparison, today I'd like to show you a few longer comparison shots and highlight the strengths of both cameras. In fact, the two cameras also have some things in common. They're both well suited for vlogging and, of course, for family or vacation videos. But let's first look at the most important differences. After that, I'll show you several comparison shots so you can better decide for yourself which camera is the right choice for you. At the end, I'll tell you which camera I would recommend to whom. The most important difference between the Luna Ultra and the X5 is, of course, that the Luna Ultra is a conventional camera that takes flat shots, while the X5 is a 360 camera. The X5 has a camera on both sides with an ultra-wide lens. The images from both cameras are then stitched together into a 360 shot. This has several advantages. You can look around freely during playback, or you can choose the perfect framing in post and then export a flat clip. And as a 360 camera, the X5 has another interesting advantage. The selfie stick automatically disappears from the frame. Combined with reframing, this enables interesting and creative shots. The downside is that you normally still have to edit and reframe your 360 footage, even though there are now several features designed to take this work off your hands. On top of that, reframing is essentially a heavy crop of the footage. The result of the reframing is therefore not a 4K recording. The exported clip has a resolution closer to 2.7K, and that's despite the fact that these 360 shots, as you can see, were even taken in 8K. If needed, you can also use the X5 to capture a flat 4K shot with just one lens, which you then won't need to reframe. In addition to 4K video, the Luna Ultra can also shoot in 8K. The Luna Ultra also has two cameras, one camera with a wide-angle lens and a large 1-inch sensor, and one camera with a zoom lens that has a focal length of 60mm. But what really sets the Luna Ultra apart is the gimbal. The two cameras are mounted on a physical gimbal. This has several advantages. The footage can be physically stabilized, so the camera doesn't have to rely on electronic stabilization. This enables particularly stable footage in low light or with the optimal slow shutter speed, which is difficult to achieve with electronic stabilization. And there's another important advantage, which I'll demonstrate later. Of course, the gimbal also has a downside. The Luna Ultra is not an action camera and, of course, isn't waterproof. In contrast, the X5 is waterproof up to 15 meters without an additional housing, has a rugged body, and the lenses can be replaced if needed. That means, just in terms of the body and features, the X5 has many advantages. The Luna Ultra's greatest strength lies in its image quality, and as you can see here, it's difficult to compare the footage from the two cameras. Taken on their own, both shots look very good. However, there are primarily two major differences between the recordings from the two cameras. The first is quite obvious. This shot taken with the Luna Ultra was taken with the wide main lens. At 20mm, this lens has a relatively wide focal length. But as you can see here, the X5's field of view is significantly wider. This naturally leads to distortion, but the extremely wide field of view makes it possible to capture a lot of the surroundings. It's particularly well suited for action shots or shots where you want to include yourself in the landscape or during sports activities. The extremely wide field of view, however, isn't well suited for close-ups of people, as the distortion becomes particularly noticeable in this case. Of course, you can digitally crop a shot to enlarge it, but this results in reduced image quality and is only recommended up to a certain point. There is also an additional ultra-wide lens available for the Luna Ultra that you can attach magnetically to the main lens. The ultra-wide lens provides an even wider field of view, allowing you to capture a bit more of the landscape, even though the difference to the main lens isn't that significant. Here you can see a comparison between a shot taken with the X5 and one taken with the Luna Ultra using the ultra-wide lens. And you can see just how extremely wide the X5's field of view is. The Luna Ultra is the first pocket camera to also feature a second camera and a second lens, a 60mm zoom lens. And with 60mm, you not only get significantly closer to subjects, but the focal length is also well suited for portrait shots. That is close-ups of faces. And that's not all. The Luna Ultra features a lossless 2x crop on both the main lens and the zoom lens. This allows for a 120mm focal length without significant loss of image quality. The Luna Ultra's maximum zoom is 12x. That means, purely in terms of focal lengths, the Luna Ultra offers significantly more possibilities and flexibility than the X5. Apart from the focal length, there is another important difference between the shots taken by the two cameras. The X5 has a fixed focus set to infinity. This means everything is in focus and sharp, the person in the foreground as well as the landscape in the background. This works well for action shots, everything is in focus, and even with fast movements, there are no issues with autofocus. The Luna Ultra, on the other hand, uses a very good autofocus system. It focuses on the subject in the foreground. And because the Luna Ultra's main lens features a large 1-inch sensor and a very wide f1.8 aperture, it creates a relatively strong background blur. And that looks very soft, high quality and cinematic. This background blur effect is constantly used in professional movies and is also typical of larger, high-end cameras. That's why we perceive it as so cinematic. Personally, I'm a big fan of this look, which, by the way, can also be achieved very well with the 3x zoom lens. When shooting with the zoom lens, there is even stronger background compression. Autofocus and the zoom lens, combined with a relatively short minimum focusing distance, also allow for macro-like close-ups of subjects or people. These look great too. Of course, there are those who say they don't care about any of that and that it's important for everything to be sharp and in focus. Sure, that's a matter of taste. Personally, I like both. I'm a fan of the X5's extremely wide field of view for nature and sports shots. And I love the high-quality cinematic look of the Luna Ultra. I think you can see where this is going. Both cameras have very different strengths and complement each other rather than being alternatives to one another. While the X5 is an excellent action camera, everything about the Luna Ultra is designed to achieve optimal image quality. You can tell this by the fact that only the Luna Ultra features a 10-bit lock mode, which is ideal for color grading. The X5 also has a lock mode, but not in 10-bit and not in 8K. For a 360 camera, the X5 takes very good shots in low light, but it can't keep up with the Luna Ultra, especially when it gets very dark. Under these conditions, the large sensor and the gimbal are simply a decisive advantage. Here you can see a few direct comparison shots. Especially when it gets very dark, the X5 can no longer keep up. That's no surprise. Low-light shooting is a particular strength of the Luna Ultra. In a direct comparison, the Luna Ultra also easily outperformed the Pocket 4 in low light. So you could say that this is a camera particularly well suited for these shooting situations. And the gimbal is especially useful in low light. As you can see here, the X5's electronic stabilization struggles in these conditions. This is normal and is due to the slow shutter speed used in low light conditions. But even though the Luna Ultra has a gimbal, when the lighting conditions are good, even the best gimbal can't keep up with the electronic stabilization of a 360 camera. The extremely wide field of view is a decisive advantage when it comes to image stabilization. That's another reason why the X5 is such an outstanding action camera. On top of that, the X5 even has a gimbal mode that simulates how a gimbal works. This means, similar to the Luna Ultra, there's a follow mode, an FPV mode, and so on. But the Luna Ultra's gimbal enables a very special feature. You can set the camera up somewhere and then have it track yourself or another subject completely automatically. That's cool and especially useful for solo creators. And since we're on the topic of solo creators and tracking, as you may know, you can easily detach the Luna Ultra screen and use it like a remote with a display. Of course, this also works in combination with the zoom lens. That means you can have yourself tracked from a distance, start and stop recording, or even change all the camera settings. For me, this is one of the best features of the Luna Ultra. There are different remote controls available for the X5, including ones with a display. And of course, you can connect both cameras to a smartphone if needed. You can also mount the X5 on a tripod to film and track yourself. There are two ways to do this. You can shoot a 360 clip and then track yourself in post. Or you can use the Instaframe mode. Similar to the Luna Ultra, in Instaframe mode, the camera captures a subject and then tracks it. However, the result isn't a 360 recording, but rather an already reframed flat clip. This means you no longer need to edit the footage. You can simply set up the X5 somewhere, let it track you, and get a reframed flat clip in 4K right away. But of course, the result here isn't comparable in every respect either. The main difference between the two cameras simply lies in the image quality, the different zoom factors, and the distinct look created by a blurred background. In a direct comparison, there are still a number of other differences. For example, only the X5 features voice control, gesture control, or an AI highlights assistant. But in my opinion, the Luna Ultra also has another particular strength in this comparison. I believe it's better suited for photos overall. While the photos with up to 37 megapixels aren't quite as high resolution as those from the X5, I personally find that the longer focal length and the zoom lens are particularly advantageous for photos. You can take good portrait photos and close-ups with a nice background blur, as in this example here. And the Luna Ultra also allows you to take 360 photos. To do this, the camera takes photos in all directions and then stitches them together into a 360 photo. This means that in photo mode, you can achieve a result similar to that of a 360 camera. This also means the Luna Ultra is suitable for taking 360 photos, for example for virtual tours. Personally, I really like both cameras. They are both examples of very well designed devices. However, neither is exactly cheap. The Insta360 Luna Ultra costs $770 in the US and 730 euros in Europe. The X5 costs $550 in the US and 590 euros in Europe. You'll find links to both cameras in the description below. And for a limited time, there is also a free gift included with both cameras. For the Luna Ultra, you get either 1 year of FlexiCare in case the camera gets damaged, or a free accessory. And for the X5, you normally also get a free accessory, but you can only get both of these through the links in the description. So which of the two cameras should you buy? The answer is pretty clear to me. If you're looking for a camera that's rugged and waterproof, but also works well for vlogging, go with the X5. Especially if you like the ultra-wide look. The X5 is also well suited for particularly creative shots. If on the other hand you're looking for a higher end, more cinematic and professional look, or want more flexibility with focal lengths, then go for the Luna Ultra. Of course, the Luna Ultra is also excellent for vlogging and if you want to film yourself frequently. But as I said, I think both cameras complement each other well. And it's fantastic to have both. Give me a like as feedback if you found the video interesting. You can already find a detailed comparison between the Luna Ultra and the DJI Osmo Pocket 4 on my channel. Check it out if you're interested. There will be more videos on the Luna Ultra and the X5. So stay tuned and see you next time.